What's up, people of YouTube? I'm Karsatowski and welcome back to the Karsatowski Bowling YouTube channel. So in today's bowling breakdown, PBA bowling breakdown, we have the title match of the 2025 USBC Masters. So without further ado, let's get on to this title match. The title match of the 2025 USBC Masters, the third major of 2025. And it is between three-time Masters champion Anthony Simonsen, who is going for his fourth Masters and a third in the last 4 years with a perfect shot on the left lane. Anthony Simonsen has a career total of 16 PBA Tour titles, including 5 majors and including the Masters 3 times. And his opponent is Gary Haynes, who has 0 tour titles on tour so far. And he is basically in the same position as last year's Masters champion, D-Ron Booker. He starts off with a way right shot, and he's lucky to trip that 4-pin. Yeah, he's getting nice and loose here for this first game here. So the Masters is a very interesting tournament. So the Masters is pretty much unlike any other major on the PBA Tour. There are pretty close to 400 entries every year for the Masters. And what happens is every player bowls a total of 15 qualifying games. And after 15 games of qualifying, they cut to the top 64 bowlers. Actually, they cut to the top 63 bowlers, and they also add the defending champion. So wherever the defending champion sits at, they are guaranteed a spot in the top 64. And then those top 64 bowlers will bowl 3-game total pinfall matches until there are 2 bowlers left undefeated in the winner's bracket. And this is also a double elimination format. So if you lose 1 match, you've got to lose 2 matches to be eliminated. And that is a very lucky pickup there. So the Masters is unique for that regard. And then they eventually cut for the top 6 losers in the losers bracket, and they eventually cut to the top 8. So the day before this, they had the preliminaries, which they would have a few bowlers bowl. They would have, a few bowlers bowl matches, and then the winners would go on to this day, who would be able to go up against a traditional stepladder for top 4. And Anthony Simonsen was number 2 seed, and Gary Haynes was the number 1 seed. Now, the Masters. Now, most major tournaments, you have to just beat your opponent for 1 game and then you move on to the next match, and that goes true for title matches. But in this specific tournament, you have to beat the number 1 seed twice. Very interesting tournament. So Anthony Simonsen, even if he wins this game, which he's pretty locked in so far through 3 shots, he still needs to beat Gary for 2 games. Right now, Simonsen looks comfortable. He already has a game under his belt against O'Neill in the previous match. He might move a little bit off that shot. That went quite a bit high. Gary is still trying to get his feet under him, and Gary was completely undefeated in this entire Masters, which is why he's the number 1 seed. That was a nice shot there. This is definitely his best shot over the opening 3. Pretty high backswing, nice follow through. If he continues that form throughout the whole match, then I think he's got a pretty good chance, because he still needs Simonsen to beat him for 2 games. So in 2023, he was 149th, and last year he was pretty close to dead last. And now his worst finish is 2nd. I don't think I've ever seen a turnaround like that in any tournament. But of any tournament on the PBA Tour, the Masters is the one to do it. Over the years, we've seen many no-name players make a name for themselves in this tournament. And most recently, D-Ron Booker won this event last year by going undefeated, and he beat his opponent, Patrick Dombrowski, in the first game. So D-Ron didn't even need 2 games. Let's see if Gary can pick up this baby split. There we go. Perfect cover. Great cover. Well, he's picking up his spares and keeping clean thus far, which is what you need to do in a title match, especially with this being your first time. And talking the ball rep is also good. Yeah, just your ball rep can give you pointers on things on the lane that you can't see, because as a bowler, you're not able to see the big picture as well as someone in the stands looking right behind you can see a lot of times. So it's good to have that extra eye on you. That's one of the benefits on being sponsored by a ball company. You have ball reps who can assist you. Simonson cleans up a 4-pin. Anthony Simonson is the youngest bowler to win 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 majors. And if he wins this Masters title, then he will become the youngest player to win 6 majors. And he will also become one of only 2 players to win the Masters 4 times. And that other player is none other than Jason Belmonte. Mike Albee also has 3 Masters. Yeah, and look at the tournament stats. So strike percentage in the tournament, 55 for Gary, almost 57 for Anthony, 55, 58 strike after strike percentage, and I didn't take a look at the other stat. All right. You don't usually see too many guys sponsored by Hammer. Oh, that was pulled way right. Again on that lane, but he struck. Okay. Well, it's not how, it's how many, I guess. After this title match, he might take Brooklyn away from Boog. From Brooklyn Boog. Brooklyn Boog Kroll. You might have to give that title to Gary after this match. Who knows? Anyway, what I was saying, I haven't noticed that many players sponsored by Hammer lately. That ball never hooks that much. Bill O'Neill, I think, is probably the face of Hammer. Really, ever since Hammer was bought out by Brunswick, not that many players I've noticed have really been with Hammer. And I really think it's that acquisition. I really believe that. But Bill O'Neill is like Hammer for life bowler. It's like Motive will never get rid of E.J. Tackett because he is basically solely holding that ball company by his shoulders. And also, Jason Belmonte, in a way, is like the most popular Storm guy, but there are other great players who are sponsored by Storm, like Pete Weber was a Storm guy for a while, for pretty much ever since the inception of Storm, and so is Norm Duke. And Kyle Troop is also a big Storm guy, so that's not quite the case with that. And yeah, but like it seems like that Bill O'Neill is carrying Hammer just about, and EJ is carrying Motive. Interesting. Okay, so Anthony goes a little bit high on this lane, leaving the 3-6-10. He covers that one nicely. All right. I would definitely have to say that Anthony Simonson is definitely the most versatile player on tour, which means that he is able to do a lot of different things with his bowling ball. Like, a lot of players have a handful of strategies that they're able to excel at, but Anthony seems to be really good at almost everything. And that ball right there, Anthony's really good at the high hard one. Just as many revs as Anthony has, he's able to max out his ball speed and just go high hard one when the lanes are tough. And that's a perfect shot by Gary. So Gary just needs to get a little bit comfortable in this game, because he can afford to lose this game, but he needs to find a consistent reaction and just keep throwing good shots. Because again, he's still got 3 frames left. So if he were to strike out, he basically forces Simonson to strike all the way up to the first shot in the 10th and force him to get good count. So, I mean, this match is still not over. Or this game is still not over. And that was another pretty good shot, just leaves a flat 10. His left arm looks so much bigger than his right arm. It's giving a lot of Ryan Simonelli vibes. It's almost like he's got 3 legs. He's actually missed 3 7-pins this week, but he will absolutely not miss that one. Alright, so he's down by a pretty decent amount this match, especially if Simonson strikes in the 8th frame. But again, he's got another game after this, so even if he doesn't win this game, then he can still come back in game 2. I think Simonson is using a phase 2, by the way, which is my benchmark ball. And it looks like Simonson lofts it a little bit and throws it a little bit hard, and it just does not get flush in the pocket. Yeah. Alright, well, just pick up this spare, and he'll still be leading by a pretty good amount. Well, that's left. Oh, chopped it. That is a very choppable spare right there. Yep, that's real choppable. His best bet was to miss about another couple boards left and catch a piece of the 4-pin and just have a chance at it. But that wasn't to be. Well, he's still in the lead for this game. That's a perfect shot right there. So he's got that left lane figured out. Yeah, he's going relatively straight compared to what most right-handers would probably have done. But that ball is relatively aggressive, and it reads the middle part of the lane pretty good and gets for a strong reaction in the back end. And I've been using that ball a lot lately. I really like the phase 2. That's one of my favorite bowling balls ever made. Okay, and that one just sails right there. Looks like he missed that one a few boards left. Meh. Alright, very makeable washout, so just do the best you can, because he's still actually technically in this game. Okay, well, never mind. Okay, never mind. Yeah, now is the time for him to just start thinking about the next game. Just in your 10th frame, use every single shot that you can to get a pretty good reading on what you can do in the next game. Switch bowling balls if you need to. Switch zones. Whatever you got to do to make sure that you get the most information out of your equipment in this 10th frame. Looks like he hit up on that one quite a bit, and it never hooks. Yeah, so I would say either not that ball or just throw it a little bit cleaner. Looks like that one he wrenched on it a lot, hit up on it. And it looks like he's looking to his ball rep for something, it looks like. And he's going to need to figure something out for the next game. Now, I know he was not going to try to make that. He was going to try to look for a consistent reaction. And that shot, he had a lot more touch on it. Looks like he lowered his ball speed to make it hook off the spot. And that would have went high if he would have gone for a strike ball. Okay, well, Simonson can do the same thing. Simonson can figure out what he needs to do on this right lane, because it seems like this lane is giving him a lot of trouble, and that one he misses way left. I do like the ball that he's using. Well, yeah, I do like the ball that he's using, and if he wants to continue to use it, I would say probably move his feet a little bit to the left and just try to get it out to the right a little bit more. That was a real funky looking spare attempt right there. That could have easily chopped the 10 pin for sure. And if he would have missed the 10 pin, then he wouldn't have been able to try another ball like this level that he's got. This level is more of a urethane ball. He's put a lot more surface on it. And yeah, he's just going to play it more straight, the high hard one. Simonson is one of the best players that I've seen with as high rev rate as he does at just going at the high hard one. He likes to use a lot of stronger equipment and just kind of go at it. And now we're going to game number 2. Okay, we are back to game number 2 in the 2025 USBC Masters. And that was a really nice looking shot by Gary. He lowered his ball speed by about a full mile. He got it to hook at that spot, and a late trip on the 10 pin. Yeah, I like that one. Let's see what he does here. So, looks a little bit aloft, it looks like. Lowering his ball speed, I think, was definitely the right move over there. Yeah, that would have taken out a 7-10 flirtation right there. Simonson goes for the high hard one, and he just leaves behind a 4 pin. A lot of times Anthony is running up at the approach so fast when he goes straight, he kind of gets a little bit forward, and it looks like that he goes off balance a lot of times. But you know, that's just what happens when you go straight. Okay, so that's a first from a player that I've heard. So the reflection off of the Fox logo is right on his break point. And see, he's looking at his break point when he's doing his approach. So when that logo comes up when he's about to throw it, it distracts him and throws him off. And that was a really nice shot. He's got that left lane dialed down. So he just needs to make minor adjustments on that left lane. Like next time, probably move about a full board left and just keep your ball speed the same. He needs his ball to be able to finish flush, but he can't have it going too high flush, or he's going to start leaving pocket 8 pins, 9 pins, possibly even a 4-9. So to keep that from happening, he'll have to make sure that his ball just gets a little bit light in the pocket and still enough to carry. And that one went Brooklyn. So that's, I think, the 3rd time he's went Brooklyn this match. That right there, he's definitely hitting up on it a lot. He's getting his shoulder pointed a little bit too high up, it looks like. And he's just, when that happens, you end up throwing it all over the place. If you don't release it clean, it's very difficult to hit your target. And keep in mind, this is his very first stepladder finals in any PBA Tour event. And this is by far his best finish in the Masters. So, yeah, this is all new territory for him. And what a position to put him in. I mean, in pretty much one of the biggest tournaments in the world, and up against a guy who has won this event 3 times before, and who's made 50 plus stepladder finals overall. And that one goes way Brooklyn. And that was a lucky hit right there. That was lucky to get that 7-pin. Goodness sakes. Yeah, I think Boog Kroll is going to lose his title for Brooklyn shots. Yeah, because Gary has had like 4 or 5 Brooklyns in basically 13 frames, which is just insane. Let's go in high hard one over there. That one gets a little bit light. Yeah, that 10-pin could have crossed over, but didn't hit it quite enough for it to carry. Okay. So that lane is definitely the trickier lane for Simonson. There you go. Just stay clean. And there you go. And he's missed 2 10-pins that week. Yeah, but to go 42 and 44 on 10 pins in an event like this is pretty insane. So there have been 6 bowlers who've won the Masters twice, 2 bowlers who've won it 3 times, including Simonson and Mike Albee, and Jason Belmonte is up top at 4. I think Belmo will win the Masters at least one more time in his career. I really do. But he'll have to wait another year to get that chance. And yeah, Simonson is just really good on that left lane. Right there. Yeah. It's a really good shot. It's basically like looking in a mirror. Like every shot he's throwing on that left lane is just the exact same. Right there. And that's that right there, that 9-pin last to fall, he'll have to eventually make a slight adjustment so he doesn't leave that. Ugh. That was heavy. That was a heavy hit right there. That was missed inside a couple boards. Yeah. His break point, I believe, is, I think, right around the 8.5 board, I think. That's the ideal line, and that one was almost at 12. That was way inside target. Oh my goodness. What? How did he miss it that bad? Wow. He missed them all. He wasn't even close. Like, even if he would have caught a piece of the headpin would just went straight in the gutter. Look at that. Wow. That did not need to happen at that time. You did not need that to happen. And that actually just reminded me of when Sean Rash missed that same combination but on the right side, and it had the 9-pin with it. Sean Rash missed the whole thing similar to that when he was struggling on TV. And he hit up on that shot and it never hooks again. When he hits up on the ball like that, it looks like he misses so far left. That's almost at the 3 board where he got it to. Man. He's just not real comfortable right now. And he's down by 16. Following an open frame. So that is not good. It's a pretty good attempt. And that's perfect on double wood. Yeah, he's pretty much throwing the ball all over the place. He is not comfortable right now. I don't think I've seen a player this visibly uncomfortable on TV in a while. Yeah, visibly arguing with his ball reps. I mean, This is a mess right here. Like, Simonson looks like he could just cruise right through this match and kind of let Gary just tear himself apart at this point. Okay. Well, that was an unfortunate break. Yeah. And again, I mentioned it before in the left lane. Like, if he doesn't make big enough moves by throwing it like that, that stuff very well could happen. But at this point of the match, Gary's just not comfortable, so Simonson can afford to do that like once. And Simonson would still be all right. He just can't do that again. Like, Simonson just needs to close out frames. But he will need to make a little bit of adjustment on that so that he can strike next time. And none of these players have doubled yet in this game. And they both have 2 strikes through 5 frames. There you go. That looked a little bit inside to me again, but it finished perfect. Like, his ball reaction is perfect on that lane. There you go. I wish that I could throw my face to that fast. Because then I can use that ball for probably 12 games in a row and just changing how fast I threw it. Okay, that was super Brooklyn, and it was unfortunate again. That's like what? Probably close to 6 times now. This is insane. This is insane on how a player can miss it right that much and strike that much. Like, I think every single time that he has gone Brooklyn on that right lane, he's struck. And I think he's only had one actual decent pocket strike in probably the last like 15, 16 frames. And that one just skids again. He got that one a little bit more left, and it just skid the whole way. Man. Yeah, it just never reacts early enough to finish in the pocket. Like, he's just not getting his ball to react soon enough to have enough energy to actually get to the 1-2. Okay, well, he can't. Yeah, he's not been able to double. And that's not very good against a player like Simonson. The only reason Simonson is not leading by like 40 by now is because he hasn't struck every time on this right lane, including that shot. Yeah, that lane is the only reason why that Anthony isn't going out for like a 270 plus right now. But then again, at this rate, just pick up your spares and don't leave anything too crazy. Like, don't leave any 4-9s again. That would be helpful. Yeah, and yeah, he's still not comfortable with that. I mean, I would say for him, just release it more clean on that right lane so he doesn't go Brooklyn again. And on that left lane, he just needs to get his ball a little bit more left. So it's basically 2 different things on each lane. Oh, okay. So he did the same thing on the left lane as he did the right lane. Yeah, but Gary is... I think he's going to have to do 2 different things on both lanes. Because they're both very different. One seems to be hooking a lot more than the other. So, yeah. Okay. Getting some support right there. Yeah. But I mean, Gary is in a very unique position. He's a player who's never really had that much success at all on the tour. And his literal first Step Ladder Finals is the title match of the USBC Masters against a player who is in the top 3 best players of the last decade. So Yeah, I mean, obviously he's going to be experiencing a lot of pressure. But I just didn't think that he would be going through the motions this much, though. I thought that after pep talking him that first game, he'd have his nerves a little bit more managed this game, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Wow. I think every single time, every single frame this game, he's gone Brooklyn and he struck. His wife can't believe it, and his dad was like, yeah, just keep doing that, son. Just keep doing it. I've never seen that. I have never seen a player go Brooklyn that many times and strike that much. This is insane. Okay, there's your good luck kiss. Okay. I think he needed that. Wow. Yeah, not even Boog Kroll can get Brooklyn's like that. That was insane. Oh. I wish whenever I go Brooklyn, I can strike that much. I don't think we're ever going to see anything like that again. For a long time. Okay, that actually looked really good. That is by far his best shot of the match. Right there. That's like one of 3 times that his ball got into the 1-2 and did the right thing. That is what he needed to happen. He needed that to happen. And he's back in the match. I mean, right there. His first double of the game, and now Simonson can double. Oh, he missed left. Wow. That split right there would have completely shifted momentum, but Simonson's getting some breaks now. So Gary's gotten a lot of breaks this game. Now Simonson gets one for once. There you go. All right, so Anthony Simonson needs to strike out in the 10th frame to force Gary Haynes to double. And this is his good lane. Okay, there you go. That ball went just a little bit to the right that time, but it carried all 10. All right. There you go. That was a really good shot right there. Looks like that ball pushed just a little bit much, but he got it a little bit more right than he has all day on that lane. So I would probably say try to move a little bit inside. But I wouldn't go too much inside because I think getting a little bit light in the pocket like that will carry. You just don't want to overcompensate on anything because he's had a really good look on that lane the whole day. And there's some dead wood. Now, normally that probably shouldn't get on anybody's nerves or distract anybody, but yeah. But it's good for a situation like this to keep the Pindex clean. So now Simonson needs to make a good shot here and give Gary something to think about. Okay. Oh my gosh. What in the world? Oh my goodness. He gets 4. That did not look like a bad shot. I mean, yeah, it was high, but it didn't look like it was that bad. Look at that. Unbelievable. It really didn't even look that bad. Holy crap. He should have at least gotten probably 7 on that shot. Oh my goodness. That's like having 2 open frames in one frame. That low 4 count and then only getting 3 on the next shot, that was Oh, wow. And it couldn't have happened at a worse time. He was doing so good on that left lane the whole day. And to have something like that happen is just like a kick in the teeth. Oh my goodness. Oh. Wow. Okay, so now Gary needs to go on the lane where he's gone Brooklyn pretty much every single time. He needs the third good one here. Oh my goodness. Okay, that was actually not bad, and it's still creeped up a little high to only leave a 10 pin. Okay, now he's got to cover that. His mom just can barely watch. She's holding it in right there. I don't like that. Oh, okay, buddy, okay. I did not like that approach hooking at it. I would have just gone dead straight at it, because if he would have thrown that any slower, that would have completely whiffed that. And I've seen Jacob Butcherf do that a fair share amount of times. He just needs to hit the pocket at this point. Get it? That's right. Oh. Oh. Wow. Oh my goodness sakes. Wow. I mean just wow. Oh my goodness. Oh, he left his mom hanging? He left his mom hanging. Oh my goodness. Wow. He went Brooklyn like 6 or 7 times in that match, and he still won. Yeah, I think Boog Kroll is going to lose his title as from Brooklyn Boog to Gary Haynes. Although it like Brooklyn Haynes doesn't really sound as good as Brooklyn Boog though, but wow. I've never seen anything like that happen in a major final. All those times going Brooklyn, all those times striking, and Simonson's 4 count in the 10th frame to lose. Wow. Just wow. I mean, I don't think we're going to see anything like that for a while, folks. That right there is like a once-in-a-decade final. Like, it's going to be a while before we're going to see something like that again. Goodness sakes. Okay, well, yeah. That is definitely one of the most intense moments, most surprising moments of this year so far. The only thing that comes even close to this is the roll-off between EJ Tackett and Ethan Fiorhe earlier this year. But this might just take the cake as the most intense and weird title match I've ever seen in a major. Wow. Anyway, so if you want me to review any more title matches similar to this that have crazy finishes, then don't miss out and hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any videos. I'm Karsatowski. Keep watching my content, and I'll see you in that next video. See ya, guys.